So we want to talk about the net capacity factor, which is basically your actual energy production. It's the ratio of the actual energy production to the maximum possible energy production for the time period. So what we are seeing here is that suppose that we are on this production. These are approximately 50,000 megawatt hour production. And then we know that our production is going to degrade by 0.5%. So if we are estimating our net capacity factor, it's going to be based on this actual production divided by the degradation amount or the degradation of this P50 over time. So the degradation of this P50 over time. So the ratio of the actual output divided by the degradation of this P50 over time. So that's what we are saying. That's our net capacity factor. And this is very, very important in production. It's very important as it actually have a negative impact on revenue as we go forward into this project, into the life of this project. So basically that's what it's all about. And also we also have the consumer price index estimate. This is shows the inflation. This has a significant effect on cost, as we know that as the years go by, we know that the economic cycle changes, and as well the equity cycles changes. They're directly correlated to each other, and because of that, we also know that that has an effect on inflation. So it is very important for us to include inflation in our costs, stating that costs will grow at this rate of inflation, which is the consumer price index. So the consumer price index, it is basically the total sum of the basket of goods on each Canadian household. That's exactly what we're saying. The total sum of the basket of goods and services in each Canadian household. That's how we calculate this CPI estimate. So that's it for now. The next thing we want to do in this model, as we go on, we're going to be talking about many other things here. We know that the labor cost is the total capital expenditures. So the maximum loan amount, which in this case is 85%, it's gonna be based on this levered cost. So the creditors will be willing to lend 85% of this total cost. So that's what we are seeing here. The next thing we want to do here is to account for the time periods which we're going to be using in this model. So we're going to begin with the end of month, which we take into account the COD date, and we're going to add 5 months to the date. Going forward, it's going to be based on another defined formula for this time period. So it's going to be equal to if, in bracket, the year that we are in, make it a year, if this year we are in is less than this year plus, make that a year, less than this year plus our project life, that is 30 years. If it's a year less than that, which we reference with F4, then we want the formula to equal EDATE, which we're gonna take this year and then we add 12 months to it. And we close the bracket 2 times, we press enter. So it gives us automatically the next year 30th of June. And then we can now take this all the way to the end of the project life, or ESF, and we paste it as formulas. As you can see, from this date to the end, we have approximately 30 years to go, excluding the transaction date. So that's it for that formula. The next thing we want to do here is we want to account for we're going to begin with the capital expenditures. So we're going to account for these expenditures, which we're going to be measuring according to the project DC and AC size. So whatever the expenses will be is going to be based on this DC and AC size. So we're going to be doing that in the next video.